Yo, what's going on, guys? Today we'll be talking about ALBA Berlin's Jack Kayil. Tell me if I'm saying that correctly. And he was originally going to go to Gonzaga, but he's going to stay in the draft, having played this year for ALBA Berlin in Germany. He is a 20-year-old German guard standing at about 6'5". He has entered the conversation as a back end of the first round pick conversation due to the fact that he's one of the more physically imposing international players and combo guards in this class. In 50 games across all competitions this season for Alba Berlin, he's a guy who's shown the ability to not only create for himself and others, but he has the size and the basketball IQ you want to see from a potentially NBA ready player that is still very young and full of potential. 12 points, nearly 4 assists per game. He's shooting 39% from the field and 31% from three on over 5 attempts per game while converting 77% of his free throws. So let's talk about what Kayil does at an elite level. He uses that massive 225-pound frame and near 7-foot wingspan to bully smaller guards, backing them down into the paint for easy buckets. He pulls up from deep range off the dribble with confidence, using a clean step back to create space against slower defenders. He runs the pick and roll with great IQ and court vision and understanding of how to hit the roll man, manipulating the defender with stop and go pace and hitting the weak side shooter. He fights over screens and uses his chest to bump ball handlers, making life miserable for smaller guards on defense. He moves well without the ball spotting up or cutting off screens, so you can play him next to another primary ball handler. He rebounds out of his area using his length and strength, ripping the ball away from bigger forwards. He's able to draw fouls consistently by lowering his shoulder. Low man wins when you get into a defender, and gets himself to the line over 4 times a game. Now, he showed a huge improvement as a shooter from deep, up to 34% in the BBL from 30% the year prior. It's a good barometer or evidence that he's been working on his shot. And he caught fire from mid-season, knocking down 44% on his threes over a 10-game stretch in German league play from November to January, posting 3 20-point games and looking like a first-round pick. As we mentioned earlier, 50 games this season without missing time. That's good. Durability is a plus. Obviously, we have to talk about his limitations. As great as he is at using his size against smaller players, when he goes against a bigger guy, when he tries to finish at the rim with a defender who has an advantage lengthwise, he just won't be able to bully his man, and he lacks the vertical pop to score over those types of shot blockers and defenders. Sometimes he rushes closeouts without a plan, often pulling up for a contested mid-range jumper instead of driving all the way to the rim. And when he does attack, sometimes he doesn't absorb the contact like you want, and he tries to avoid it. That may be due to the fact that he lacks true blow-by speed and explosive leaping ability, which will limit him against quicker, twitchier NBA defenders. And his efficiency, shooting-wise, took a nosedive late in the season, sub 40 from the field, near 30% from three, including a brutal 8-game stretch in the German Cup and Euro competition where he hit just 22% from deep. Over those final 8 games, he committed 3+ turnovers in 5 of them and looked gassed, shooting 33% from the floor. He struggled to stay in front of lightning quick guards on the perimeter, as his lateral foot speed is just average, and he turns the ball over too much at 2.5 per game almost when trying to force drives into traffic instead of making the simple read. So Jack Kayil is worth the late first round pick because he's a 225-pound combo guard with a near 7-foot frame in terms of his wingspan, and he plays the bully ball size for a guard, and his off dribble shooting range forces defenders to respect him. And he has the high IQ physical style you want from at least a secondary playmaker who has some point guard like skills to be a microwave bench scorer. Now, ultimately, I think at the very least he projects to be a high-end backup combo guard who can play in 2 guard lineups. I think he's a year or 2 away from contributing meaningful basketball minutes, but he could be someone who comes in and hits threes and be a microwave for a team early on. I think his NBA comparison is the German George Hill. George Hill was a 6'4" guard with a strong frame who was the ultimate steady hand. Kayil's low turnover numbers and defensive potential as a physical guard fit this mold. Hill was a knockdown shooter with gravity opening up the floor for others, something Kayil showed flashes of with his 3-point shot. And I think that should be the blueprint. Let me know your thoughts down below. What do you guys think and why?